So I just went on a little mini rant. So let's talk about some positivity right now. Let's see, positives about this game. It's hard to think of some, but I do enjoy the quality of life changes. Like for instance, how you can check your reputation in your menus now, or how legendaries decrypt into blues and all that. So like I said, I'm not saying Bungie's all bad. They've done good. They've done good, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Sometimes I'm just saying, right, as it is right now, I feel like their negatives outweigh their positives, if you know what I mean. Like the Hunter nerf made absolutely no sense to me. The trip mine one made no sense to me. The throwing knife one made no sense to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically they reduce the damage on trip mine by 3%, which is like, that's whatever. But they removed its ability to stick to players and AI enemies, which was weird because the reasoning was like, oh well, people are always using trip mine. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense because the other grenades aren't as good. I mean, incendiary grenade's really good. Swarm grenade, not so much. So basically, like, oh well, people are using this grenade too much, and then their other reason was like, oh hey, when people are purposely, like, I don't know what data they're reading, but basically what they're trying to say is like people are using trip mines primarily, like using my sticky grenades, like, you know, when you throw a trip mine on someone and sticks to them directly, and you know what I mean, you get that kill or whatever. Basically they're saying that was happening like a lot, like apparently a lot. So they removed the ability to stick to people, which now if you throw a trip mine on someone and it just happens to land on them, it does like some weird like fumbling animation, and you might get them, you might not. It's really weird. So yeah, that made no sense. I mean, they did buff up storm grenades so people would give them a try. I guess that's cool and all. I did not check the modifier. But specialist, okay. Oh, have you nerfed the remote? Give me a second. Yeah, but what else? Yeah, the throwing knife one. Now that one really made no sense. So apparently people were complaining about people using the incendiary blade and throwing knife, where if you got a headshot on a low armor target with your throwing knife and you had burn damage, you'd kill them, right? So instead of reducing the burn damage, they just straight up nerfed it by 10%, and that one made no sense because there's a lot, like in PvE it's not noticeable, it really isn't. 10%, it's meh. But in PvP, there's a lot of kills that people should have gotten on me if they had 10% more damage. Like, you know what I mean? You can't one-shot someone with a throwing knife with a throwing knife headshot if you have incendiary blade, which is I feel like it's unfair. Because for instance, the majority of people who are quote-unquote complaining are the people who run low armor, which is fine. I mean, you don't like, most people, they run high armor, high recovery. Some people run agility, right? So I guess, but that's the minority of people anyways. So that was weird. And then the trip mine one, I'm like, another reason, like, oh, if you miss your throw, you're still gonna set up a trap. I mean, I guess, but like I said, trust me, sometimes when you miss a trip mine, well, at least in most cases, in my experience, when I miss a trip mine, I don't set it up in like a perfect trap. It gets put in an awkward angle in the corner, and when it goes off, it hits absolutely nobody. So
Be ready.
Yeah, I was talking to my friends about it, and literally, like, the blink nerf, another example of how PvP is just dictating PvE. Because of the blink nerf, they removed the recovery stat from blink or whatever, and it really does impact a lot. For instance, like my Voidwalker uses blink, and he has high recovery, high armor, and he has noticeably less recovery now because of the nerf. So yeah, that sucks, right? I don't know, man, because it's like they nerf blink and then they nerf in PvE, so it's not as good. Oh well. What else was I talking about? So yeah, that's how I feel about the Hunter nerf. I could see where they're coming from, but it didn't make sense. Because if you actually play the game, you know, not many people complain about throwing knives. I mean, at least I don't. What else can we talk about? I thought I was going to talk about something positive. I'm talking about negativity now. I lied to you. Something positive. Well, I do have to give it to Bungie though. Supers feel super, except for one. And I'm pretty sure you know which one that is. That's Radiance. Anyways, yeah. I do like how supers actually feel super now. Especially after the buff. They do damage against majors now. You know what I mean? After wasting an entire arc blade on a fucking captain and only get his health down like by half, I can actually, you know what I mean, kill a major now. The only super actually being the only subclass that I really want to see reworked is Sunsinger. It's like I said, grenade spam, it's really fun. Don't get me wrong, that's fun. But I don't feel like that's super worthy. Like literally, what's the description of Radiance? What, you fill yourself with solar energy and boost all your abilities? That's cool and all. What does Hammer Soul do? Fill yourself with solar energy and you summon a hammer of fire that blows up shit and destroys people. That's a super right there. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would not know what to replace Radiance with, but I don't, like, as it is currently, it doesn't really feel super. Like, in Crucible, I really don't use Radiance. You know what I mean? There's no reason to unless you're running self-res. Oh, and that's another thing. I am happy they fixed that Firebolt Touch of Flame BS. That was really... But at the same time, I'm kind of mad because they did mess around with the with burn damage in general. So does all burn damage is generally less, which is another, like I guess incendiary grenades or collateral damage to that. Because now if I, like, for instance, before the patch, if you land a solar grenade or incendiary grenade at someone's feet and you got that 170 and you saw like the ticking damage, you got to kill basically. You know what I mean? It rewarded, like, you got rewarded for placing that grenade perfectly. Now, if you do it, they tick for 4 damage, and in most cases, it's not enough to kill them. So, like, you know what I mean? It kind of sucks that they you can't really kill someone with an incendiary grenade instantly, or not instantly, but you're gonna get that perfect throw and then get that kill. But that's fine. It's fine. I'm still gonna use. Oh, did he already make it? What?
Success, guy.
I was about to say, he already made it there. That's not fair. That's the sound of me failing. If you didn't hear that in the background, the little whatever, apparently that was the sound of me failing. But I did. Alright, let's talk about self-res, because I personally have a slight problem with it. See, now the ability to come back from the dead, that's cool and all. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cool. But I feel like in Crucible, that's a little bit unfair. Especially after they nerfed the Alpha Lupi, like Keeper of the Pack exotics, where, you know, people could just run by and rest someone, which is a fair change. Like, it makes, I don't know. It just makes, like, actually no, that's actually different. What I'm trying to say is, like, res sniping. Yeah, this is gonna relate back to self-res. I feel like res sniping is fair, but at the same time it's unfair because, like you know what I mean, you get rewarded for watching over someone. Like, you know what I mean, like, instead of chasing someone down, you're actually watching over their orb, so you're not actually in the action, right? I feel like it rewards you for, like, being patient or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like it's unfair to a player because, let's say, like, you're down, it's 3-on-1. You're running over to your teammate and you manage to get him up, but you're, like, almost dead, and he just respawn and then he gets domed instantly. I feel like that's unfair, right? So honestly, in my opinion, I feel like res sniping shouldn't be a thing because they just nerfed the Keeper of the Pack exotics, so, you know what I mean, they can't just res them instantly. But then that brings up another problem, because if you take away res sniping, the one about sun singing, right? Because the one, I guess, like, pro and con of, like, the pro is you come back to life. The con is for those first few seconds you are very vulnerable. I can't say vulnerable, Jesus Christ, but you're very, you know what I mean, you can get killed instantly. Like, when you sprout your wings, you can just get headshotted or fit or supered or whatever. So, you know what I mean, it makes self-res a lot more potent, if you see what I'm getting at. I don't know, I feel like like I said, man, Destiny, I really feel like it's a really hard game to balance because, like, all the subclasses are different and unique. You can't really balance them. You can't really balance the Blade Dancer around a Gunslinger because they play differently. You know what I mean? I mean, if you really want real balance, just take away all the jumps, all the abilities, and boom, just have a normal shooter. Like, you know what I mean? So let's be honest. I don't think Destiny's ever gonna be able to, fumbling words, will be
enemies
will ever be
die.
balanced. There
You
said it.
win.
Christ. I'm gonna end this recording right now. Hopefully that's not 50 minutes.